So that we should cultivate, and we can also cultivate the other aspect, being bold preachers, learn how to be bold for Krishna also, and learn how to be common sense. From those devotees who are commonsensical, we can learn common sense. From those devotees who are bold preachers, we can learn how to be bold preachers, like that. So everything we should, as far to our capacity, try to follow, and try to balance the whole thing. And this is not easy. This will not come in one day. It only comes, you can say, primarily if we have the desire to cultivate these qualities. To try, if we have the desire, yes, to follow in those footsteps and get these qualities. We may get some success simply by a sincere desire. So I think maybe that's what I could say. You may have something else to add to that.
No, I think it sounds like this lightness of a child.
Yes.
That is completely without any complications or worries. And that's really what brahmacharya means, right? You just have your few devotees, okay, where to put them, and you have to watch them once in a while. The simplicity and lightness.
Yes, that's a very attractive quality. Nobody likes a big profit calculator, actually. Nobody's attracted to somebody who's always thinking for his own, who's always careful of how do I get the best deal out of it, and to hell with others, Me, I, mine, that's the profit, that's the fruit mentality. It may simply be there. We may be honest, that we may be contaminated. But we should know that what we should be the standard. We should try our best to develop the proper standard. That's the idea. Yes. I think Keshapriya Mataji, what do you have to?
No, not if you were...
it's
more
a new
things
point.
on this point.
Yeah. I think if there's nobody else who has anything more, yes.
No, I was just wondering about this, that we know when we do a service every day, then it's very austere and very purifying, and like we were saying, all services are equally valid for Krishna, but still we know that Srila Prabhupada has said many times that if you want to please me, then distribute my books, and we also feel like that if we do everything else, but if the books are not distributed, then it's like everything, like the Haribol disappears somehow. So it seems like that everything is supportive, isn't it? And that's a question.
Yeah, because Prabhupada did emphasize book distribution. That's a fact. So he also said this thing that every service is just as important at other times. So I guess the point is how to balance this. Because we don't want to discourage anyone by looking down upon them from doing a particular episode. That we don't want. And we don't want to, we want to keep book distribution prominent. So that may be difficult sometimes. That may take quite some understanding how to do this properly. To put book distribution in forefront, to understand that that's what the prime instruction that Prabhupada got from his spiritual master, and still, facilitating all the other services and all the other devotees who are doing the other services. That requires some advancement, you may say, some sensitivity. So we can take that point. Yeah, we should never forget that Prabhupada book distribution was very prominent. And also at the same time, being always encouraging to all the other devotees doing all those services. So we may try to do that. Okay. Still have some time, Martin?
I was just wondering these prayers, the Rhino Kavachi. It seems like some of the prayers are not exactly like asking for devotional service, but how is the connection with these prayers and devotional prayers?
How's the connection with the prayers and devotional service? We hear about the demigods that actually they are sometimes described as karma mishra bhaktis. They have their devotional services mixed with desire, fruit of desire. So they sometimes approach the Lord, to alleviate themselves of some trouble, some material trouble, like we have the case with Vitrasura. And the demigods, they come and ask the Lord for benediction of how to kill Vitrasura. So they, you may say that the demigods, they're in charge with a particular type of service to maintain this material world. Sometimes they get the material difficulty, and they go to the Lord for that. They go for relief, and sometimes it's not favorable. And Indra, he got himself in quite a bit of a difficulty when he could understand that he prayed for benediction to kill actually a devotee, when he found that Vritrasura was a devotee. But then he couldn't get out of it, because then the deal was there, and he would have to do it. So said that the Kama Mishra Bhakta, a devotee whose devotional service is mixed with fruit of desire, sometimes he just has to approach the Lord for material benefit. It's just so strong in his heart. There's also Dhruva Maharaj. He had this desire to get the kingdom of his that was greater than his father. It was so strong that even though Narada Muni was there and presented himself as a spiritual master, he could have gotten pure devotional service directly. But because the desire was so strong in him, then he had to go for it. He said, "Your instruction doesn't sit in my heart. Please let me the honest means by which I can achieve the thing which is there, most prominent in my heart, the desire which is prominent in the heart." And as we know, of course, in Bhagavatam, and everybody is encouraged, even those who have desire, karma, akama, sarva karma, and moksha karma, like that, everyone is encouraged to approach the Lord. But different devotees, depending on if they're karma or akama or moksha karma, they will approach the Lord differently. So in these prayers, you may say that there may be some tinge of karma, some desire to let's just get the power to defeat the demons, and that may be mixed with the fruit of the karma mentality. So the prayers will be different according to the different devotees where they are. And so for practical purposes, that may be relevant to us, because sometimes we may have desires that are so strong that it simply overpowers us. And so it may be that in that case, that we should know that even if we have this desire, it's only up to the Lord if it will be fulfilled or not. So why not dovetail? And this also have in the scriptures. And Prabhupada, he mentions this word of dovetailing. And this dovetailing, that is linked to the fruit of mentality. Because you may have some fruit of mentality, but how can we dovetail that fruit of mentality so that we'll be connected with Krishna? How do we connect our strong fruit of mentality, which we cannot let go of? We're so attached. We cannot let go of fruit of mentality. So how do we dovetail our fruit of mentality with Krishna so we don't lose touch of Krishna? That's also an art. That's also a great science. And that's why the spiritual master, who's very much knowledgeable, he can help us in that regard. We can take help from devotees. Well, I have these desires. They're so strong. I can't let go of them. Well, how do you dovetail them then? How do we somehow, make our fruit of desire congenial with advancement in devotional service? That may not be very palatable, okay, but it may simply be that we have fruit of desires and we can't let go of them. That just may be the bare, honest fact. So how to deal with it intelligently, that's a whole other topic, and that's beyond, you may say, the purport of the verse today. But that's also something that will be worth discussing. But that we can take on an individual basis and consider, how do we deal with our fruit of desires, and how do we make it so they don't become a complete obstacle to our advancement of Krishna consciousness. That was just some thoughts. I think maybe you have something better to say to your question. Yes. Okay, so it's just a few minutes.
So I was just thinking about Vishwarup, how innocent he was. Like he was just considering himself a servant and like a child of all the demigods, and he just wanted also to serve them. And even though he put some arguments before to give up his body, but still.
Oh, Dadichi, you mean?
Oh yeah, that was,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that mentality is also there.
Yeah.
And then when you have that mentality, you become immensely powerful.
Yes. Carefree like the child is, yeah. He could give up his own body. Yeah. So that, with that last comment, we'll end today's class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.